HyperSearch is a web bookmark manager that was written in AutoHotkey, and it's designed to quickly give you access to all of your links without even needing your browser to be open, so you can quickly get to the internet and get out without distractions. I wrote it for myself because I do a lot of editing and it's very fast-paced, and I just need to be able to access the internet without getting distracted by the internet. And this is a quick guide as to how it works and how you can get it set up for yourself. And if you're not familiar with running AutoHotkey on your computer, there's an exe version that you can download from the documentation page. So to do that, you can either go to releases or just click the download button. They will take you to the same place. And then you'll see the most recent release here with the exe file. So just click on that and then find a place to put it. I already have a folder on my desktop for HyperSearch, so I'm going to save it there. And Chrome is not going to like it, but just go ahead and keep it. I promise it's safe. And so now I have that in a folder here. And the reason I'm putting it in its own folder, and you can put this pretty much anywhere on your computer, but it's going to create some files when you run it for the first time that it needs to do its thing. So once you run it, it's also going to tell you that you shouldn't be running it, but I promise it's okay. We're going to say run anyway. And there you go. It'll create a few files, and now you can use the Windows spacebar command to open the UI. So the way that the UI works is it's comprised of a favorites bar at the top, a categories list on the left, and a links list on the right. And it starts with the quick access link and a quick start guide. So this will give you a few basics of how it works, which I'm going to go over here in a second. But the basics of the app is it's kind of all run by this search bar. So if you just type something into the search bar and hit search, then it will actually search the internet for that link. And you can also do this just by selecting text. So any text on your computer, you can select it, and the default command is Control Windows space, and then that will do the same kind of search. Now, it does default to DuckDuckGo, but you can change that to Google or Bing if you want. The reason I did DuckDuckGo, though, is because really the point of the app is speed, and so you can use bangs with DuckDuckGo, which is putting an exclamation mark plus an abbreviated version of a website, such as exclamation mark W for Wikipedia, and then it will search Wikipedia for that text instead of going to the internet. So it's just a really quick way to get into what you're looking for and get out of the internet. Now, in terms of actually setting up your links and stuff in the app, it's really kind of a bunch of formulas. So let's take the favorites, for example. So in order to set up a favorite, you type in the number of the location you want the favorite to be, and then a right angle bracket, and then the name of the link that you want. So we'll just say Gmail, and then the URL. And then it'll tell us favorite one has now been labeled Gmail and links to mail.google.com. And so the favorites bar up here is just quick access to get to those links anywhere in the app. And you can also use the Alt modifier to shortcut straight to that link. Setting up categories and links is very similar. So the formula is basically category plus link number plus link name plus URL. So really you're taking a combination of this formula and using it to build out your links. So first of all, if you're just adding a category, all you have to do is type in category plus. If you want to add a link, you do plus the link number, the link name, and then the URL. You can also just type plus link name and URL, and then that will just add it straight to the top. And you can also do plus plus URL. So let me just demonstrate all of that real quick. So let's do a test category plus. So that adds a new category to the bottom here, and these categories will stay alphabetized and they are searchable. And that's the other thing about the search bar is if you start your search with a space character, you can actually search the text that way. And if you do 2 spaces, you'll get to the quick access. So to add a link, we're going to do plus, and then we're going to say test link. We're going to do plus, just do google.com. And there you go. You have a new test link at the top. Google.com shows in the little tips window at the bottom. And since it started with a default link, we do have an empty one here, which we can either delete by right-clicking, or we can rename it by just adding plus second link, and then that will rename the link. And then it doesn't actually have a URL yet, but we can do plus bing.com. And it'll tell us that it now links to Bing, and there you go. And again, we can add a link in a specific position. So let's go ahead and do +2 plus third link plus yahoo.com. And then this will add a third link in the second position, and it links to yahoo.com. And then if we want to delete a link, we can either right click and do delete, or we can delete a specific link by saying delete minus, say 3, and then it will confirm for us, say yes. So that's pretty simple. Now you can also import your bookmarks from Google Chrome, which is pretty useful, especially if you're just starting out. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And the way to do that is to go over to your bookmarks manager. And then in this menu here, you can say export bookmarks. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the same folder that we have the app in. So we'll click save. So now we have this bookmarks file. And to import the bookmarks file, if it's in the same folder as your exe, all you need is the file name, but otherwise you'll need the file path. So I'm going to just go ahead and right click, copy as path. And then to load it up, we're going to say import, and then the right angle bracket, and we're going to paste in the path. Now, Explorer will add these quotations to the ends of the path, which we don't want, so I'm just going to delete those. And then it will ask us if we want to replace all the links or just add them to the set of links that we already have. And I'm going to go ahead and just add them to the current links. And there we go. Now we have all the shortcuts that I had in my Google all set up here, ready to go. And now these links that have the angle brackets are what I call cross-linking. And it's a way of sort of making pseudo folders to keep links organized. So instead of opening a URL, it will actually open the category in the categories list that is within the angle brackets. So to set up one of those yourself, when you set it up like a link, you add the angle brackets, put in the same text as whichever category that you want from the other side, and then instead of putting in a URL, you're going to put in a asterisk. And then that will create your crosslink, and when you click on it, it will open that category there. So again, those are really the basics of the app. And again, I can search for anything in the category there. And one other thing I do want to mention is that you can navigate the UI using Alt ASWD. And so that makes it really easy to get around all your links basically with just one hand. So if I hold down Alt, I can kind of search through these pretty quickly, and it makes it super easy. And so that being said, you can actually use Alt E to open whatever link is highlighted. A few last things to note about the app and the way that it works is that it will, once you run it, it will be kind of running all the time in the background, and you'll see in your taskbar a little magnifying glass icon. If you right click on that icon, you can exit the app. If you need it to stop running, you can also exit the app from the X menu in the corner here. So you can close the window, which the window closes anytime you click off of it anyway, or if you press the escape key, but you can close it from here. And then you can also exit the app. That will mean that the shortcut keys will stop working and it won't pull up anymore. But of course, you can always just go back to the exe and run it again, and then you'll be up and running. So just keep that in mind. It will be running. You can also take the exe file and you can move it into your startup folder. And I have several AutoHotkey scripts that just start up with my computer. So if you like it and you want to keep using it, then you can do that. And then every time you start your computer, it will be ready to go for you. So again, those are the basics. There are some other settings, things that you can change, like opacity, and you can load in other repositories, and you can import categories and stuff like that. And to see all that, just click the little question mark at the top, and it'll bring you straight to the documentation. And this is where you can find all the full list of the commands that we just went over, and other ways to change settings and stuff like that. And of course, it's where you can find the most recent versions as it gets changed and updated. So I hope it's useful for other people too in speeding up their workflow and just kind of giving you quick access to the internet without having to go through a bunch of links and click your way through folders and stuff like that. So thanks for watching.